Community service and supervised attendance orders are orders that are made by the courts for individuals who have committed an offence, and it's essentially, community service in particular is an opportunity for individuals to make reparation for their offending behaviour in the community, whereas supervised attendance order are focused on those individuals who have been fined by the court but who have been unable to pay the fine, so they've been given another opportunity to make reparation for their offending behaviour. So there is a direct link. Community service in particular is a direct alternative to a custodial sentence, so the severity of the offences can be very high, so the courts are very mindful in terms of the orders that they're giving, and also the ability of the local authority to deliver community service at such a level that the public can have confidence in the service.
Well, they've really done all the heavy work that we can't do. They've done all the digging and levelling the ground, filling up the raised beds for us. They helped to build the ramp at the workshop. Just really anything that we weren't able to do ourselves that they done it for us. It's not a soft option, it was all hard work, digging and bringing in the soil for the beds. It was really hard work, and they were out in all weathers. So I wouldn't say it was a soft op. They really took a pride in it, because at one point we had a break-in and they done some damage, and when we came in the morning, the boys for the community service, they were really angry at the damage that had been done, because apparently it was the work that they had done, and they were really angry about it, really upset. So I think they were entering into the spirit, they were enjoying it.
As soon as somebody's commissioned an offence and they've been found guilty of that offence, the court is under a duty to request for a social background report from the social work department, which basically details the individual's background history and also their kind of attitude towards offending behaviour, and also what disposals will be appropriate. So depending on the severity of the offence, the court will look at what we've done in our report. We'll undertake a risk assessment as well to see whether or not that individual is suitable for community service, and on that basis it's to the court's discretion whether they impose a community service order. And
being in here's got me up off my behind and out and doing something. Coming to community service made me want to go out and look for a job now. Definitely, especially doing the woodwork. I would consider doing joinery at college or something just for doing community service. I already asked the guy if I could get work in here Monday to Friday. Let's see him come and do work experience in here to try and get to go in a joinery course or college or something. Going out to a wee girl tomorrow, so it is that hut and that one over there is going out to a wee boy. So they'll be chuffed tomorrow. 7-year-old and 8-year-old, I think. I would keep out of trouble now because of this, definitely. But yeah, I just enjoy doing it. That's it. Enjoy doing it, mate. I'd rather be in here than what I would be outside anyway, definitely. You get to help out people, you get to help out children, old people. I enjoy it.
We're in the middle just now of a funding application to further develop the St Bride Centre, which is a very well used centre in the village. Some 27 organisations using it regularly. We have been successful in obtaining funding. We involved community service because there was some work which we required to have done round about the hall and indeed in the hall, and they've already completed very promptly the tasks which we had outside the hall in the car park area, and there is further work to be done within the next few months to complete that task, and we're hoping to have them inside the hall to do some of the decorative work inside for us also. Well, they carried out the work very quickly, they carried out the work very tidily. The clean-up operation afterwards was very good. The weather they were working in was far from ideal. In fact, the first morning they came, the rain was lashing down, and I had fully expected to get a phone call to say that, sorry, the weather was too bad, they wouldn't be arriving, but they came, they worked, and they cleared up what was a very muddy operation, very satisfactorily indeed. And certainly I would be delighted to have them back again.
The original paths, until the community service people came up and widened them, had dropped to basically about a foot wide, and they were just muddy. So we want families to come up here, we want people to be able to bring up strollers. So the idea at the moment is to resurface the paths so that we can get people to come up and use the area. The end result was fantastic because they came up, they widened the ditches on both sides, they created drainage ditches down both paths, and then they actually removed the topsoil that had formed on the path along with all the weeds. So the finished item that we got was a path that we can now put a new surface on. What amazed me about it is the actual standard of the job that they did, because when they came we thought, well, they'll get different people of different capabilities, but they did an absolutely amazing job. We were stunned by how well it had done.
The new revised national guidelines that came in last year, they had 7 broad themes which they wanted local authorities to look at, in particular in terms of delivering community service in the future, and some of those address the concerns that the general public have, in particular in terms of when an order is made, how quickly are we getting people onto the order? So how quickly can they see a direct consequence to their offending behaviour? How quickly are they getting through those orders? And also, what consultation is there with the community to do that? At the moment in South Lanarkshire Council, we are liaising with community neighbourhood groups, with the neighbourhood wardens as well, just to see the type of work that is required in the community. Obviously there's risk assessments that we need to do before we can undertake pieces of work as well, but there is a very robust system in terms of identifying those types of work that we would want individuals to do.
Well, it's a huge difference to the way it used to be. I mean, we used to have terrible problems with graffiti. It was the place a mess, people were embarrassed bringing their family in to visit. But the clothes are clean all the time. There's people much more proud of the place they live in. They tend to keep it tidy. Since it's been painted, it's been very rare they've had to paint it over again. This is quite a rarity now. People that live here, sort of the decent people that live here, are really pleased with it. They're really pleased that people are taking an interest in them and trying to give them a decent environment to live in. So we do get a pretty positive feedback. They think it's brilliant, To be honest, a lot of people don't care who does it, but they think it's brilliant that it's a community service doing it.
It's been easier than I anticipated. Everybody's much more open and much more responsive to learning than I had anticipated, because a lot of people are here not necessarily through choice but because they're orders to serve. And I didn't know how receptive they would be, but they've actually been very, very good, very hardworking, and it's actually quite a good sort of social network for them as well. They tend to be quite reserved when they first come in, not sure what they're getting involved in, think it's going to be very much like school, and within a couple of weeks hopefully we kind of break down barriers. They definitely have their confidence levels up. They leave hopefully with a CV, job applications done, applying for college, things that they would never even have considered possible when they first started, and that happens very, very quickly. An awful lot of people, one person in particular, one lady I was working with last week, was convinced she couldn't do anything on a computer, and by the end of the day she'd written a letter, she had started her CV, she was very competent and completely surprised herself. You feel by the time people leave here, they've had practical experiences they can put into practice and hopefully change their life for the better.
We've worked with those individuals, as you're saying, who have been disengaged, who haven't had a routine in their life, and they get community service and they have to go and do their work placements, and then at the end of the order everything finishes and they're back to normal. So what the new legislation and the new revised national guidelines allow us to look at other activity that can look at kind of vocational courses and qualifications that can actually then assist people once they finish the order, so that everything doesn't just go back to normal, that they've got something thereafter that they can progress onto.